Diamond B Sports presents the American Sports Cavalcade. A panorama of speed, color, drama, and excitement. The American Sports Cavalcade.
The NORC Xfinity Series came to the NORC Speedway for the second race of their second round. The chase as 5 drivers qualified from the first round to be fighting it out for the championship based upon points. And as the series also have its second last race of the season with one more race to go at the Auto Club Speedway. At the start, it was pole sitter Jared Darling leading point leader Bobby Islinski, Hunter Combs, Bobby Cheney, and Brett Pancari would all be among the top 5. And early on, there was some great action throughout the rest of the field as the field ran for 163 laps today at the NORC Speedway. And speaking of great action, on lap number 3 there was some free wide action in turn 1 and 2. Bobby Cheney cut the grass in the front straightaway, goes free wide Zielinski and Combs. Combs gets squirrely, Pancari then splits the middle, and he would rocket up to the first spot as Bobby Cheney would go to the number 2 spot. And Cheney is one of the 5 guys running for the points in the championship. Then on lap number 6, Brett Pancari would continue his charge through the field. He would get to the inside of Bobby Cheney on the exit of turn number 2. He would get to the inside of the Coors Mustang, and then he would pass him going into turn 3 and 4. And then on lap number 7, he would eventually get to the inside of Jared Darling down the front straightaway, and he would make the pass, and it would be the first lead change of the race, and the first of actually a few in this race. Lap number 10, and Darling would come back on Pancari. They would be side by side coming out of turn number 2. They almost banged fenders. There's down the back straightaway as Darling would eventually get to the inside in turn number 3 and would pass the 19. He would take the lead right back. And then later on, Pancari and Cheney would start to fall back as they have abused their tires early on in the run. Fast forward to lap 33, Cody Miller gets loose out of turn number 2, slides up, hits the wall right in front of Cheney, who dives to the inside to avoid him, misses him, but loses control, tries to lock it down, and there was nowhere to go for Sean Williams in the 89, and 2 of the chase drivers would get severe damage to their cars. Restart on lap 38, Darling would be the leader, and he would crack the whip on the entire field as he would unleash an almost 8-second lead on the rest of the field as everyone else was trying to conserve their tires, as Darling was just going all out to get a distance between himself and the rest of the field. And there would be one guy who would catch up to Darling and close in that distance, but that wouldn't be till lap 72. That would be the number 2 of Marcus Richardson. He would get to the inside of Darling in turn 3 and 4, and they would battle it out for the lead. And then Richardson tried to get by, but couldn't make it happen on that lap. But you fast forward a couple laps to lap number 74, and under pressure, or the car would start to get away from Jared Darling as he would get loose on the exit of turn number 2, slides around and saves it, but that opened the door for Marcus Richardson to come by and take over the race lead, and he would lead for the very first time. Lap 76, and the point leader Bobby Zielinski gets loose in turn 2, gets dumped from behind by Ariadne, overcorrects and goes spinning into the inside retaining wall, slides back up the track, and the second yellow of the day would come out. A few laps after the restart on lap 84, Jared Darling said he was not done yet with Marcus Richardson. He would get to the inside on the front straightaway, entering turns 1 and 2, and Darling would come by to reclaim the lead once again, but Marcus Richardson was nowhere near done with the Citgo 22. And those two would continue the battle on lap 95. Darling, I think, was under pressure from Marcus Richardson as they go into turn 1 and 2. Darling would get too high on the exit of turn 2, slides up and hits the outside wall, and his chance of a win went out the window. Fast forward to lap 103. Hunter Combs gets squirrely in turn 2. He would bounce off the wall. He would spin right in the middle of the track. No one else would hit him, but the third yellow and final yellow of the day would come out. Lap 108 on the restart, Marcus Richardson would continue to lead, but there would eventually be a set of strategies. He would fly out to the lead and run his tires hard in the ground, where there were some drivers who decided to play a different approach and try to save their tires. And at lap 133, the strategy would start to come into effect as Marcus Richardson and a few of the leaders would come into the pits and take tires. While there were a few drivers that decided to go for broke and stay out on the end and to try and save their tires. That would include Ryan Marin, Caden Henry in the 41, Brett Bunkari in the 19, along with the 53 of Nicholas Caressel, and also the aforementioned Hunter Combs, who was trying to stay out and maybe perhaps get a yellow or bring their tires all the way to the end and hopefully get a big enough gap on the leaders. Unfortunately for those guys and Ryan Marin, that gamble would not pay off, as in lap 158, he would get squirrely at the exit of turn 2, slide up and hit the outside wall. He would then go spinning hard in the inside wall. No yellow would come out for as he was down below the white line on the back straightaway, but his chance of a win went out the window. Then we fast forward to the final lap in a bizarre situation. I mean, Marcus Richardson, who had dominated most of the race, intentionally lets the 74 John Barry by and lets him take the win. However, on further review, the official decided to reverse the call and give Marcus Richardson the win and John Barry the second. Besides Richardson winning and Barry second, Bobby Zalinski decides to crash, gets third. Caden Henry was fourth, Cody Murray fifth, Hunter Combs, Brett Bunkari, Doug Erickson, Nicholas Caressel, and Ryan Marin, despite the wreck, would get 10th. And the top 5 in the chase standings looks to be a foregone conclusion. Bobby Zalinski has a 15-point lead on Cody Miller, 17 on John Barry. Sean Williams a 24 back by Jay Freybank. It looks like the rest of the top 5 will be battling for second place. Bobby Zalinski looks to be good to win the championship.